Welcome to this explainer. Today we're looking at how Lamborghini is somehow navigating the massive industry push for electric vehicles while simultaneously posting record-breaking financials and fueling some really intense IPO rumors. It's a fascinating intersection of luxury automotive heritage and high-stakes finance, and I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through it.
So think about this for a second. How exactly do you invest in a 30 billion euro luxury giant that, well, technically isn't even for sale? It's a great question, right? But before we get into the how, we really need to map out the massive financial and cultural machine that this brand has become in 2025. Because, to understand the investment play, you absolutely have to understand the product and the pivot.
Here is our quick agenda for today. First, we'll look at a record-breaking bull. Second, pumping brakes on EVs. Third, the IPO speculation. And finally, how to invest today. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. A record-breaking bull.
You see, Lamborghini isn't just selling transportation, they're selling exclusivity. They're selling dreams, heavily rooted right there in their Santa Agata Bolognese heritage. CEO Stefan Winkelmann has actually pointed this out repeatedly. They are not just selling mobility. To survive, let alone thrive in the ultra-luxury segment, a brand needs deep historical roots, and Lamborghini leverages its legendary Italian design and performance pedigree perfectly.
And guys, that pedigree is translating directly to the bottom line. 10,747. That is the staggering record number of cars Lamborghini delivered in 2025. What's crazy here is that this marks their third consecutive year breaking that massive 10,000-unit threshold. Even with all the global economic and political instability out there, the demand for these vehicles remains incredibly resilient.
Which brings us to the money. This illustrates their massive revenue climb, hitting 3.2 billion euros in 2025. Just for context, they were at 1.79 billion in 2019. So how are they pulling this off? Well, they achieved it through a richer mix of high-margin custom vehicles. Get this, reports show that an astounding 94% of delivered cars were personalized by the buyer in at least one element. So even while fighting off negative exchange rates and new U.S. tariffs, their operating margins are consistently hovering around a spectacular 24 to 26%. Moving on to Section 2. Pumping the brakes on EVs. Now this is where they totally defy the current automotive narrative. CEO Stefan Winkelmann recognizes that supercar buyers want the raw emotion, the aggressive sound, and the visceral performance that full electric vehicles, frankly, just struggle to deliver right now. Because customer acceptance is actively dropping in the ultra-luxury sports car segment, Lamborghini made a really bold strategic decision. They delayed their fully electric Lanzador project indefinitely. So instead of going full EV, they are doubling down on plug-in hybrids, and the market is loving it. They've successfully launched models like the V12 Revuelto, the Urus SE Super SUV, and this absolute beauty, the Temerario. This new high-performance electrified vehicle, or HPEV for short, completes their first fully hybrid range. Basically, by blending traditional internal combustion engines with electric motors, they're hitting those strict emissions targets while making sure the roaring soul of the brand stays fully intact.
Section 3. The IPO speculation.
Now, to really grasp the current IPO hype, we have to take a quick look in the rearview mirror at their turbulent history. After being founded by Ferruccio Lamborghini in 1963, the company actually went bankrupt in the late 70s. It bounced around between different owners, we're talking Chrysler, Indonesian investment firms, before eventually finding unmatched stability, huge capital, and massive technical growth under the Volkswagen Group umbrella in 1998.
And that stability set the stage for what analysts are now calling the Porsche blueprint. Following the wildly successful IPO of Porsche back in 2022, market analysts are constantly speculating that Volkswagen might try to unlock Lamborghini's massive hidden value through a similar public offering. Now, VW frequently denies any short-term IPO plans. They say they want to focus on internal EV transitions, but the sheer, undeniable profitability of Lamborghini keeps these rumors very much alive.
This speculation builds a pretty incredible financial picture. Back in 2019, the brand was valued around 10 billion euros. Fast forward to 2026 projections, and analysts from BofA Securities and Bloomberg Intelligence estimate a standalone Lamborghini could command a massive valuation anywhere between 25 and 30 billion euros today. Some even suggest that if it traded at multiples similar to its rival Ferrari, it could touch 35 billion euros. The value creation here is literally off the charts.
Which brings us to Section 4. How to invest today.
So,
With all this value, how can you actually gain exposure to this highly profitable luxury brand right now? Well, here is the crucial catch. You cannot buy Lambo stock directly. It literally does not exist, because Lamborghini operates as a private subsidiary under VW's Audi division. You actually have to invest in its parent company, Volkswagen AG. Now sure, Lamborghini is only a tiny fraction of VW's total volume, but its contribution to the group's overall profit margins is disproportionately huge. That makes it a major key driver for the parent stock whenever there's an upswing in the luxury market.
For retail investors like us, the actual process is pretty straightforward. You just open an account on a standard brokerage platform, think eToro or Interactive Brokers, and search for VW's ticker. If you're in the US, you'll probably look for the American Depositary Receipt under the ticker VWAGY. Trading in Europe, you'll look for VOW on the Frankfurt Exchange. Then you just execute your trade to gain that indirect exposure.
Oh, and a super quick but absolutely crucial warning for the eager investor. Please make absolutely sure you don't accidentally buy the ticker for Lambo Group Berhad. I'm completely serious. This is a publicly listed Malaysian IT and e-commerce firm that has exactly zero connection to the Italian supercar maker. Believe it or not, it happens way more often than you'd think, so always verify the company description before you actually hit buy.
Now, come on, we can't do an explainer on Lamborghini without touching on its unique cultural footprint in the digital age. This intersection of finance and culture is just fascinating. The famous "When Lambo" meme literally creates a direct, measurable correlation between digital asset bull runs and luxury automotive sales. When cryptocurrency markets surge, Lamborghini showrooms globally see a huge influx of newly wealthy buyers. It's basically become the ultimate physical trophy for digital success.
Ultimately, whether you're a crypto trader constantly refreshing your digital portfolio or a traditional retail investor seeking exposure through Volkswagen equities, the allure of Lamborghini remains anchored right here in the beautiful hills of Emilia-Romagna, Italy's famous Motor Valley. They have just masterfully blended their engineering legacy with modern financial strategy.
So as Lamborghini strategically pumps the brakes on full electrics to preserve the roaring soul of their supercars, we have to ask a really critical question. Will this hybrid gamble sustain their multi-billion-dollar valuation long-term, or will the market eventually force them to plug in completely? It's a high-stakes race, and the entire financial world is watching the rearview mirror. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this clarified exactly what's happening under the hood of this iconic brand. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.